Three up.
And 3 down.
3 up and 3 down, brought to you by the print issue of Press Box. This one's actually going to be hanging out for another week or so. You can go pick it up at your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores. The story from Bill Ordine about the future of the Preakness right there on the cover. Go get that today and read it for free as well at PressBoxOnline.com. 3 up and 3 down. We normally go with
the opposite of what
right,
they did.
but it feels like, given the context that I just gave, it feels like the down, because it should have been better than 3 and 3. This feels like a down 3 and 3, not an up 3 and 3.
Yeah.
So I believe we start with the up and then go to the down. I think that's the way that this one works.
Which is weird. I feel like there were more options for the up list than down list.
I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Yeah.
I do think it was. I don't want to say nitpicky because I think the guys on the down list deserve to be on the down list, but we'll get to that. Begin with the up. My number 3 is the guy that had the best OPS on the team for the week, but he also should probably not be playing center field. Blaze Alexander is my number 3 for the week, and really kind of like you could say he should be number 1, and arguably, but I still saw what I saw. And you could say, well, he shouldn't be playing center field anyway. Okay, I hear you, but it happened. Now, the bunt. And because we're all talking about this, we're sort of spending less time on it. The question of, should you be having your best hitter bunting in that spot? That's tough. The thing is, Blaze Alexander is such a ball player that you feel like he'd also be so good at bunting that your thought process is, well, yeah, he's bunting to get the runners over, but he also might be bunting for a base hit. Problem is the Orioles have been doing a lot of it recently, and the Blue Jays were very prepared for it. They were very much ready for the bunt in that spot. I don't know. I'm torn. Like I am. I'm torn. It was a one-run. It's a one-run game, so you can absolutely understand playing for one in that spot. It's the 7th inning. It's hard for me to come down on it. It really is. It's easy for me to second guess. It's hard for me to actually say definitively that it was the wrong thing to do. It was the wrong result for sure, but I don't think I can say it was the wrong thing to do. But Blaze Alexander is my number 3.
I'm interested to see who else is going to be on your. I mean, like Blaze didn't have a bad week by any means. I mean,
what do you mean he didn't have a bad week? He OPS'd 1,100.
I know, but because he only played like half the games, so like that's I don't know. He's not on my list. I feel like there were definitely 3 guys that were more deserving, and potentially 4 maybe, I guess. I went Brandon Young as my number 3.
It is wild to me that you got a guy that OPS 1,100. It isn't on your list.
He only had 12 at-bats, and he dropped the ball in center field, and
the center field
I can't
thing
bunt.
happened.
And I mean, I don't think and even with the defensive the other stuff, like I don't think it was still a bad week for him. But there were 3 guys, maybe 4. Like I thought Mayo had a decent week as well. Maybe not towards the back end. But Brandon Young's my number 3. You're not going to win any awards for pitching into the 7th inning, but it was Friday. He ate a good bulk of innings for him, and it just continues to say stuff about his consistency over the last several weeks.
Yeah.
So a quality start is enough for me.
I didn't think he was. I didn't think he was great, but in context, I get it.
Yeah.
He did not make my list because I just didn't think he was overwhelming. But yeah, I mean, does say something that now this is like. I should expect this from Brandon Young. It absolutely says something about that. There's no doubt about
at that point where this is you think he's better, that he should be better than 6 1/3 and 3 runs allowed. But yeah, Brandon Young is my number 3. So.
Adley's number 2 for me, and Friday night Adley is a first ballot Hall of Famer, right? Like that. I didn't even mention. Obviously, we weren't here on Friday, so Trevor Rogers was Thursday. I get it. They scored a bajillion runs in the first inning, but. Then Trevor Rogers went out there and did the thing. So Trevor Rogers got it. It's also a weird day where, like, nobody offensively carried them. It was just sort of everybody contributed.
Yeah. Mayo had the big double, I guess.
That was his only hit of the game, right? Like, so Trevor Rogers was Thursday, and then obviously Adley Rutschman was Friday on the biggest no-brainer probably of the season. With all respect to Brandon Young, the biggest no-brainer in the history of man of the match
Yeah.
might be Adley on Friday night, who is ungodly. I mean, Adley had a great week, but a particularly great game on Friday. He's number 2.
Yep, led the team in hits. I think RBI as well. I mean, I got most of those RBI in one game, but that still all counts. So yeah, Adley is my number 2 as well.
And then Colton Cowser's number 1 for me for the week because not only did he OPS,
Back on the bandwagon.
it's not a bandwagon. It's just reacting to what happens. Not only did he OPS 1,100 for the week, but then on top of that, that throw on Friday night was bonkers, man. That was bonkers. I don't know. Is this just what he is again moving forward? I pray. We're now talking about it's been like a solid 3 weeks. It's not just he hit a couple of home runs. It's not like he's looked like Colton Cowser or like the better version of Colton. I guess I don't know what I don't know. He's looked.
Well, yeah, you've never liked him, so what is Colton Cowser?
Well, no, but the problem is for 2 months he was the greatest player in the history of baseball, and then he was bad. Like we don't really know what the in between is for Colton Cowser. To this point, we've only ever had polar opposites. We've had the greatest thing that ever happened to baseball, or not good at baseball. So now we're kind of trying to find a middle, and I like the middle. This is a good middle. I mean, I'd take this guy if you could find that guy again, but I'll sure as hell take this. Colton Cowser, number 1 for the week.
Yeah, he's my number 1 too.
Very good. To the down. Unfortunately, Leody Taveras went 2 for 17 for the week. It's just what it is. I'm not down on Leody Taveras or suggesting he shouldn't be playing or anything along those lines because Leody Taveras has been wonderful. But this week he happened to go 2 for 17, and so Leody Taveras is number 3.
Yeah, I was between him or Basayo. I went with Basayo as my number 3. Like he also went 2 for 17, and I think I expect a little bit more from Basayo than Leody Taveras. So Samuel Basayo is my number.
You
3.
mad at him because he's not playing through pain?
Yeah, also
I
would have liked if
a lot of controversy yesterday about
if there wasn't a lot.
Craig Albernez's comments after the game about pinch hitting for Samuel Basayo. A lot of people think that maybe he was.
But also, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, like that is the bigger.
Like I think he's very much part of the solution to this thing. But yeah, bad week for Basayo.
I want to make sure
both visually and literally what the stats say. Basayo's my number 3.
I want to make sure I read this correctly. Andy Koska of the Baltimore Banner tweeted out, Samuel Basayo is fine. Craig Albernez, quote, Sammy is learning. He's learning a lot how to play through being nicked up. When everything is checked out and everything is fine, Sammy is learning to play through some adversity right now, unquote.
Always Sam Huff's there to kind of lean on him a little bit.
That's a really interesting.
What was the other thing? Because
it's a really interesting quote.
When did he get hurt? He got hurt earlier in the week too, because that was why they called up Sam Huff. Why can't I remember what happened to him?
They brought up Huff
was that
on
in the Boston
Friday.
series?
Yeah, he got hurt in the Boston series.
Okay. And then he didn't. He didn't play. Where's Basayo?
Yeah, man, you're asking me to remember too much.
He didn't play Saturday, but he did pinch hit late. Did he pinch hit? So he also pinch hit on Friday.
Okay.
So he didn't start either Friday or Saturday.
Look, man, I'm not here to tell Samuel Basayo. He certainly knows his body better than I do. It's really interesting that that's something that Craig Albernez would just come out and say. Like that feels like he's trying to speak to the player through the media type of deal. How does that relationship work? I saw our buddy Zach Moore from the Bat Around tweeted that like he's heard that Albernez has maybe pushed Basayo even more behind the scenes. That like he's been really trying to push Basayo's buttons. I mean, somebody would say, for the most part, seems to be working, right? And we know that that's part of Craig Albernez's deal, right? Like, he's the catcher whisperer. So, you don't question it, I don't think. But it's a really interesting thing to say. He's learning a lot how to play through being nicked up. When everything is checked out and everything is fine, Sammy is learning to play through some adversity right now. It's just a really, really interesting quote. All right, number 2 for me is Chris Bassett. I mean, it was bad, and I get it. Like, you can say he clearly was going through something, but 8 base runners over 3 innings, it's just never going to be okay, and we'll see if he's good to go tonight. They still haven't announced him as the starter. It's very weird. But they sent him back to Baltimore, flew him to Toronto.
Well, because he had to get his reception for.
But if somebody's dealing with a back, you would think you'd want to limit the number of flights that he's on. This is what makes the whole thing weird to me. The combination of that and them not announcing him, presumably if they knew he was going on IL, you'd want the extra roster spot. You'd want to have another. So they can't know he's going on IL, or else they almost certainly would have taken advantage of it before now. Now,
unless they can only call Gibson back up. Trey Gibson back
Oh,
up
based on injury?
based on
but
IL.
that's fine.
Yeah.
They'd be putting him on IL.
I know. Well, yeah, which, yeah, I mean, to your point, that's
This is what makes it.
But that's the only reason I guess they'd wait until today. I don't know.
It makes it all the combination of all of these things. Like, you could say, if you're worried about someone's back, you probably don't want them on more flights. The flip side would be okay, then that proves that you're not actually worried about that much about his back because you put him on these flights. But if you're not that worried about his back, why don't you just announce him as you've announced your other starters? Why wouldn't you just announce him as the starter for tonight? I feel like Charlie Day, like looking up at the board. Like it doesn't compute for me.
Well, because now Seattle's double.
They're preparing for 2 different starting pitchers tonight.
There
I don't
we
even know
go.
when did Trey Gibson pitch. Is he even?
I believe he would be. When did Trey Gibson pitch? I guess I don't know.
There you go. And look, we'll presumably find out this afternoon. Like,
Right.
there would be a locker for Trey Gibson if they're, I don't know, man. It's weird. But look, it was very bad. Chris Bassett was bad, and I got nothing else to say. Number 2 on the list, Chris Bassett.
Bassett wasn't on my list. I mean, I kind of factored in the injury. I kind of factored in that Albert Suarez was way worse than him after coming in, which I mean, I don't know if that matters. Like, is Albert Suarez what is he? Like, is he part of this? Like, is he an Oriole? I mean,
Well, no, I mean, you do have expectations for Albert Suarez, and he
Yeah.
wasn't good. I don't disagree with that.
I guess my point being, like, if I was going to put Bassett on the list, I feel like I should have put Suarez on the list.
Yeah, I think
And
Bassett was more harmful. It was more harmful.
losing your starter.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, but like Suarez, I guess we just don't know.
Look,
I guess
get
that's
it.
my issue with Suarez. Like,
part
we've
of-
seen him start in Toronto on 15 minutes
part
notice.
of part
and go,
of
like, 6
Suarez's
innings.
role
Like,
is supposed to be that guy. If you want to say, hey, I'm not saying that Suarez shouldn't be in the conversation at all, because part of his role is to be the guy that comes in when something like this happens. And you're right, he did fail. I'm not trying to protect Albert Suarez. To me, it's just more harmful that it was the starter than it was Suarez. That's all. Go ahead.
I think Gibson pitched on the 4th, so I guess it would be 2.
No, I could not pitch tonight.
So yeah, I guess it's got to be Bassett. Gunnar Henderson's my number 2. I think it's definitely a lot of reasons. I mean, the error, whether the tag, I mean, we can belabor the tag all we want, but he made an error the pitch before that.
I agree.
And that also helped spiral that inning. And he just wasn't good at the plate. I mean, he didn't do anything with runners in scoring position all week. I think he went 6 for 24, so like he batted .250. I mean, like I guess that's not hurting his average, but that's because his average was so low. I am at that point where it's those expectations versus what they actually are. Like, it wasn't a disgraceful week for Gunnar, I guess, but he needs to be better. So does Pete Alonso. I mean, Pete Alonso still hit a couple home runs this week, so that's why he can't be on the list. But Pete Alonso also had several runners in scoring position opportunities, and it felt like he was grounding into double plays or striking out each time or popping out. Like, it was. There was no way I could put Pete Alonso on the list, but
Right.
I felt like he was more towards the down than the up this week, despite.
Do you have a
numbers.
source that has someone's RISP?
I was looking for it. I couldn't find. I mean, I think I'd have to go like game
for
by
a 7 game. That's
Yeah,
the
I know,
issue,
I
right?
know,
Like,
yeah.
I would like for us to have that. In those.
Gunner's my number 2.
Kyle Bradish is my number 1. Just really disappointing, and it's the context obviously being.
You thought we were
You
declaring him the ace is back.
You were
Yeah.
3-1 for the week. You have your guy going the next day. The worst case scenario is now you're going to win both series. The best case scenario is you might go 5 for 1 on the road against 2 AL East opponents. And that's the context. It's not like suddenly one start makes me say, oh, I'm really worried about Kyle Bradish. Good pitchers have off days. days where they get hit. I mean, that happens. But it's the context of where you were and then someone going out and getting their brains beat in. I mean, he gave up, 12 base runners over 4 innings? I mean, just ungodly.
Did he hit a guy in there? Is that what I'm missing? He gave up 9 hits and three walks.
That sounds
12.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
right.
12. I think every time that math works out to 12.
I didn't want it to be as bad as it actually was.
Yeah. It was awful. I mean, it was just awful. But that doesn't mean that I won't be happy to see Kyle Bradish out there in 5 days. Again, it probably goes back to why whenever we have like a guest come on who says the Orioles should be aggressive about getting a top of the rotation pitcher, there's always a few someones who respond, Kyle Bradish is your number one pitcher. And we get so carried away. When I say these things, it's no disrespect to Kyle Bradish. It's like what I say about the Ravens and wide receivers. Whenever I talk about, I think they should go to veteran receiver. Oh, you don't believe in Elijah Surratt. Elijah Surratt might be great. I don't know that.
He's played the same number of NFL snaps
Yeah.
as us.
Kyle Bradish is a good pitcher. We're declaring him an ace because he's what the Orioles have. We have no actual evidence that Kyle Bradish is an ace, and we certainly have no reason to believe that he can go from 30 innings pitched to pitching like a legit top-of-the-rotation guy through a deep postseason run. We get very caught up and emotional about our guys. He's our guy, so we want to love him. I love Kyle Bradish. But he's not an ace. He's the Orioles' best pitcher, and a good one. At times, a really good one. Still, it's not even, I'm adding context to it, but you don't even really need the context. He gave up 12 base runners over 4 innings. It was a disaster on Saturday. Kyle Bradish, to me, was an easy choice for number 1 this week.
This is where Albert Suarez is. This is
Yeah.
It's Kyle Bradish.
Yeah. Unfortunate, and you can still love Kyle Bradish. There you go. That's 3 up and 3 down. We'll get it up at glennclarkradio.com here coming up in a bit.